folks. Welcome to the Twilight Zone edition of the Beyond Body. Wow, that was very interesting, very fun, and again, kind of on the edge a bit in regards to, well, no. I mean, I am convinced this was a beyond body experience, but it was a very strange beyond body experience and very interesting. So let me get right into it. Wow. So anyway, as I've been doing lately, I've been napping during the afternoon. And I actually took two naps. And on the first one, I I had a dream, as I usually do when I shut my eyes. I always dream. But on the second time, because I was almost determined to have some sort of beyond body experience today. And I think in my mind, I remember on the second time I shut my eyes, I thought to myself, I really want to have a beyond body and I'd like to do something fun. And in fact, in my thoughts, I remember this, in my thoughts, I said, come on, guys, please take me somewhere. I want to go somewhere and do something. And I told them I wanted to do something fun. I remember I was thinking I wanted to do something like go to an amusement park or go to Disneyland or something like that. Something that would be really cool. Suddenly, at one point, after I closed my eyes, it clicked. There was that moment where my consciousness switched. Like, I think I tell you, like, it's like almost like a light switch. Sometimes it'll click on. I'll know I'm in the beyond body. I did not feel that rush of motion like I normally do. And I think what this teaches me is never to kind of think this is what it's going to be every single time, because it changes. It really does. It's not the same as it was. And also interesting, when this happened, I felt a force literally pick me up into the air. Like, it picked me up as if my body was being picked up into the air as I was lying down. And it threw me into the air. This is what it felt like. Now, it would be impossible for me in my current state with my leg to be able to do this, but what I felt was a force throw me into the air. I did a somersault and I hit the ground on my back. And I remember in this, I could feel the impact as I came down. So it was as if I hit the ground on my back and I came up. Interestingly enough, side note here, there's certain things that I guess I haven't really talked about and I don't even really think about. I used to do gymnastics when I was younger, and I could, in fact, do back handsprings and backflips with no hands and round offs and all these other things when I was younger. So I used to do that. And this felt to me like a somersault and hitting my back and then coming up on my feet. When I stood up, I was in some kind of a huge house. It was huge, really big. Now, I don't remember all the details again. Again, when I come and I do this, I am in a fight against time to get everything out and to get the most out that I remember, because I begin to forget immediately. But I will tell you that this house reminded me of something back in the 1930s. There was art and other things in this house that made me think I was back in the 1930s. And in fact, one of the things that was very interesting to me was I heard music that it would be, interestingly enough, it almost sounded like, for those of you, because there are going to be, and I'm going to date myself here. Now, I'm not that old that I would know or have seen, no, I have knowledge of, but that I have maybe seen the Three Stooges and the episodes for the Three Stooges as they originally came out. I did not. As many of you probably have seen, and maybe it wasn't many of you. I'm not 100% sure, but this music was from the Three Stooges. Think that first song that comes on when you see an episode of the Three Stooges. That's what I heard. So that's the first kind of Twilight Zone thing, but it was really funny because I was like, oh my God, that's like the Three Stooges music. So that's number one. And so anyway, I'm looking around this place, and I remember I was saying, thank you. I was really grateful that they had dropped me off here because I was like, this is so cool. I think I've gone back through time again. That's what it felt like in, I suppose, this reality. It was a reality that felt like it was back in the 1930s, and all the things I saw looked as if they were from the 1930s. It was really cool. Oh my gosh. I wish I remembered more detail for you, because I like to get into as much detail as I possibly can when I make these episodes, but I can't remember a lot of detail from that beginning when I first got there, when I'm first looking around. All I can really tell you is I was taking it all in. As probably many of you who have watched my episodes and seen it, even some of the earlier ones, I have done some time travel, and it is one of my favorite things. I love anything that has to do with time travel. It's always been a really cool thing for me. So when I thought I was back in the 30s, I was like, this is awesome. One of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to head outside. But as I was heading toward the door, I saw on my left side a room. Now, this is going to get really bizarre to you, because when I saw this room, I saw people, and there was more than one people. It was a bedroom, but again, I've told you, sometimes I go to these realities in these different places, and it seems like everything is expanded. Like, if you were to look at a bedroom, it's 4 or 5 times the size of a normal bedroom. It's huge, and it has different beds in it and different people in it, and they're all sleeping together. Now, I've had that situation in the Beyond Body experience before. This was the same, except while everything was in this really beautiful color when I first came into this place, even though, it was back in the 1930s, and in the 1930s, of course, they had black and white television. So when you watch TV, it was in black and white. But obviously, in reality, if you were to walk around in the 1930s, everything would be in color. Well, this was in very deep, rich color. In fact, it's so interesting. I could remember deep reds and other types of colors that were everywhere in this room. And gosh, again, I wish I could point out all the different details. I know I saw many things, but when I saw the bedroom in this house, and I saw the expanded thing, there were all these people, and the people in the bedroom were in black and white. They appeared to me to be in black and white. Now, I know, strangely enough, for those of you who have seen a movie called Pleasantville, that was kind of the case. In the movie, people were kind of in black and white, but then at a certain point, certain elements of the scenes or their landscape started to gain color. I guess you could kind of say it was like that, but again, only the people were in black and white at first. And I was like, why am I seeing people in black and white? I think that's really odd. Then, because this caught my attention, I looked in and I swear to you that I saw someone that looked like a young William Shatner. Again, Twilight Zone, Beyond Body, very strange, I know, but I am simply reporting it to you guys as I saw it. That's it. I promise you that I'm still a rational person. I promise you I am in control of my mind, my senses. But that's what I thought I saw. It was a young-looking William Shatner. And this young-looking William Shatner had very short hair. He was thin. And when I looked at him, interestingly enough, at first he was in black and white. Then he was suddenly in my eyes, to my eyes, in color. And I started saying something to him because I started going, first thing I said to him was, I know some things about you in the future. Now, it's interesting because I assumed that that was William Shatner, right? I assumed that it was, but these situations have taught me was what these situations have taught me are that things that appear to be a certain way aren't always a certain way. And my mind is somehow trying to create something that makes sense to me. So the fact is that even though this being looked to me like William Shatner, well, I mean, I can't say that that was necessarily a version of William Shatner. I have no idea. Probably not is what I'm thinking, but I don't know. I started going into all these different things about what he could expect in his future, but it was all done in fun. Now, the other beings in this room, I think, may have been from different time periods, perhaps, but I don't remember all of them. I just remember the music, and then I remember talking to this William Shatner looking person. This was fun. I had a lot of fun. And after I finished talking, I thought, okay, I want to get outside. I want to get outside. I believe I opened the door. I saw cars that looked like they were from the 1930s or so. Very beautiful, very colorful. All those things were in color. And right before I was getting ready to go out, bam, I was back. I opened my eyes. Back in the 3D world from the Twilight Zone. Oh man, that was very, very interesting. Well, that was my experience, and I will give it to my guides and those around me. It was fun. I had a good time with it. It was quite pleasant, very interesting, and well, thank you so much for coming on another journey with me. And until next time, take care.